I'm going to talk about 10 nonfiction books I want to read this year, starting with Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. So I'm literally judging this book off the cover. I assume it'll be about humans, potentially evolution, but I really am going in with no expectations. I just know this book has been recommended countless times, and I want to know what all the hype is about and jump on that bandwagon. So not much to say there. After, I want to read Thinking Fast and Slow. I recently finished Never Split the Difference, and that book was so good. It's about learning how to use psychology to negotiate. It's from the perspective of an FBI hostage negotiator who I feel like almost every chapter starts off with a very intense situation and what he did to diffuse it and negotiate with irrational people. And he constantly references thinking fast and slow to understand what they're thinking, to get them to say what they're thinking, and in a sense empathize with the other party. So I'm going in with, I guess, higher expectations for this book because it was referenced so much in Never Split the Difference, which was so good. Next, I want to read The Confidence Code. So on Goodreads, this actually has the lowest rating from this list at 3.74 stars, which is still pretty good. But when I read through like the bad reviews, it seemed like there was quite a bit of fluff and it wasn't just, study after study. However, there are some good chapters and good points to be made. So I feel like if I go in knowing that this is going to be a light read and not expecting too much, I shouldn't be disappointed, but nonetheless, the topic is interesting, and if I learn something, then that's a plus in my book. Next, I want to read anything by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is an eloquent feminist and highly regarded in her field. I want to read both We Should All Be Feminists, which is actually a short text at only 64 pages, and Dear Ijeawele, A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. I'm excited to read these texts. I'm hoping that I get a better understanding of feminism, a better foundation for it, and hopefully find a way to play a more active role in feminism. To complement Chimamanda's literature, I wanted to read Invisible Woman, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. That title alone and the number of good reviews left on this makes me so excited to read it. I feel like it'll complement it very well because whereas Chimamanda's work focuses on history and a good foundation, I assume, this book will actually focus on now that we're all connected, now that big data and AI are taking over a lot of systems, understanding the bias that these machines are capable of amplifying. I feel like it'll almost give us a glimpse of what we're going through now and what could continue to happen if we don't pick up on bias in data straight away. In addition to reading feminist books, I also want to read The Fire This Time, A New Generation Speaks About Race. This is a collection of essays, meaning there's a whole bunch of authors, a whole lot of perspectives, and I'm looking forward to reading all of those stories. And again, to learn more about racial issues, I want to read Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. Honestly, I see the title, I'm feeling like it's some reverse psychology. I really hope that more people read it since the title is kind of witty, and I'm hoping that energy sort of continues on throughout the book. Is that mean? It's not meant, I don't think it's meant to be mean. I think it's just meant to lighten up such a serious topic that needs to be addressed. So a complete 180 from all of these sidle books I want to read. I am looking forward to reading Deep Work, Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. This is written by Cal Newport, who wrote So Good They Can't Ignore You and Digital Minimalism. So I loved So Good They Can't Ignore You. It was one of the reasons I actually started liking business development as a genre. And Digital Minimalism has also just gotten high praise. So I like the author, it's got a good rating, it's right up my alleys for genres I usually read, so I'm looking forward to this. And I'm actually currently reading Driven to Distraction, and I had this as the first book I was going to talk about since I'm actually almost done. And it's a little personal, so I kept it at the end of the video if you made it this far. Hello. Driven to Distraction is about ADD. I would not recommend this book to everyone, however, I did find it incredibly relatable. And in case you didn't know, ADD is a genetic disorder, and not only did I find the stories in this book relatable to myself, but I also saw a lot of what my brother has gone through and my mom, so that was a little trippy. I actually started this book back in 2019, but I had to put it down because it was a lot to take in. I wouldn't even consider myself to be an emotional person. I was just frustrated seeing the challenges I faced being reflected back in this book, but there is a huge sense of relief knowing that the author himself suffers from ADD, and there are so many examples of people that have been successful regardless of their diagnosis. Again, I don't think this book was meant for the masses, but if you do feel like you resonate with the title, I'd recommend picking up a copy. To end on a high note, I want to read Storyworthy. Engage, teach, persuade, and change your life through the power of storytelling. So honestly, Ali Abdal here on YouTube said it was the best nonfiction book he read last year in 2020, and so that was a good enough reason for me to put it on this list. I never really considered picking up a book about storytelling, but it makes sense how being a better storyteller can help you in all different aspects of your life, because humans stay more engaged when there's a good story behind whatever you're saying. Anyway, those were the 10 nonfiction books I want to read this year. All of them will be linked down in the description below. If you have any book recommendations, please be sure to leave a comment, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!